Okay, welcome to the session. So for this session, I am handling into web security. So why before going for that web security, we need to have some basic introduction about that web technology. Okay. So for this session, we are going to discuss about that basic web technology, then how that web technology is working, then what is that web page and websites, then how to go for that secure that web pages and all we have to discuss about this session. So we coming for that web technologies. So in that web technology, it consists of that your websites. You are in everyday life you are seeing many websites, right? So in that website, it's developed using that various languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Python. So lot of languages are used to constructing that websites. So that website contains there is number of web pages. Yes. So after creating that web pages, websites, how the users are able to see in that through the internet. So you have to host that particular website into the server. So that's called the web server. After hosting your websites in the web server, so that web browser, using that web browser, the users can see those content in your web page. So on HTTP and HTTPS, these are all the protocol for transfer data between web servers and web browsers. So web browsers, it's nothing but a software application used to access via the websites, and web server is a software application that deliver web content to client over the internet. So these are all the two difference in web server and web browser. So you coming to that web page. So how you are creating that web page? So you know that basic need of creating that web page is markable languages. So commonly they are using that HTML. Using that HTML you can create the web page. But if you are using only that HTML, your web page is not showing that good format. Right. So you have to make good appearance and interactive web page. You can use HTML, CSS, then scripting languages like JavaScript, Python, Perl, PHP. So you can use different kind of languages. Right. Then difference between website and web page. So the website is a collection of different web pages that are linked together with hyperlinks. Web page is a single hypertext document. Then in website consists of more than one web pages. For web page is a single document that is displayed on user browsers. So these are all the difference between website and web pages. Then how the web page is working? So that HTML is known a RISE browser is used to generate neural web addresses. So you can create that HTML and goes to that web server. Once you are storing into that web server, a customer sends a request to attend to load the page, and the portal is most popular because the customer can request internet connected page. Right. So after loading, that HTTP is take the role. So using that HTTP request, the portal sends request for the page or a file. So that HTTP it's requirement for the network that enables the transfer of data based documents across internet between a portal and an internet. So first the browser sends request to web server, then web server is response for that particular request to browser. So that browser, who is accessing that browser? The users. So the users given some request to that server. So based on that server, the HTTP is response to the users. these are various elements of that web pages. Next, web security problem. So here you know how that web page is created and how then what that web servers and web browsers and all. So why you need web security? So if you are directly host the websites in your web browser, in web server, if you don't have any security mechanisms, then the third party or attacker can access those web server and he can modify anything about in your websites. So for that you must do some security mechanism for your web browsers. So securing the web server is the three-part process. So first, the computer itself must be secured using traditional computer security techniques like encryption and decryption. Second, the special programs that provide web server must be secured. Finally, you need to examine the operating system and the web services to see if there are any unexpected interaction between two that might compromise the system's overall security. Next, secure web servers. So that web server can be used to exploit bugs in the host security, and failing in host security can be used to probe for problems with web servers. Here there is two types of attacks will be possible. One is if the web server and website it's not written that particular scripting language for security. Next, the web server may have well written and running in the secure operating system, but you don't have provide the security for the database server. So these two typical attacks will be happen due to this. One is poor written of code, and if you are not secure your database server. So next, simplification of service. So if you have your web service have to load many things, like you have to complex systems and complex instructions. So this will and unnecessary options and remove all those options to the user. So it will be the attacker taken advantage to store your data. So you have to simplify your services. Next, policing copyrights. So you are seen lot of web pages or websites. In the bottom of websites you have at copyrights in that particular company's names in websites. Why? Because they are claiming that what are the content they are published in that particular websites, it should be copyrights for that company. Then once you have that copyrights, the other users cannot use that same content for any purpose without permission from that original members. So that's why they are making copyrights for all the contents for their web pages. Next, securing informations. So web security involves the problem of protecting information as it travels over the internet from web server to end users. So from that point, you have to use lot of encryption algorithm. Next, physical security for that web service. Next, securing users' computers. So the security threat facing users have become front page news, but these threats have not materialized in the way of widely expected. At the same period, millions of computer users suffer and billions of dollars they are lost from real attacks over the internet. So you have to make sure for or browse anything in that accessing that web servers. So you have to secure web servers for all things, and it should be more reliable. And you have to analyze various risks and how to prevent those risks in that web securities. So these are all the whole and about the basic concepts in that web securities. Yes. So these are all the summaries. So, raise and self-assessment questions for things. Thank you.